So Power Rangers Dino Fury airing next year, a lot of people are wondering, including myself, how they're going to adapt certain things from the Sentai into the Power Rangers TV show. One of them being Gaisoulg, or Gaisoulg, whatever you want to call him, the purple knight with the armor, or the knight with the purple armor, whatever you want to call the dude. So a lot of people are wondering how they're going to adapt that character. So let's go over the brief notes of what this character is in the Sentai. And yes, there will be spoilers right now talking about this character and what he does in the Sentai and how they could possibly adapt it into Dino Fury. So if you don't want to be spoiled, click away right now or timestamp or watch the video another time. It's up to you. So anyway, folks, let's talk about on how they can adapt Gaisoulg in Power Rangers Dino Fury. So here's a quick brief summary of Gaisoulg in Resourga. So Gaisoulg is an animated knight that developed its own sentience and the desire to hunt for strong opponents and make them host hands armor against their will. He was basically an evil spirit and the reoccurring antagonist for the Resourgas throughout the series. And eventually the spell was broken or the armor was purified and the armor went into ownership of Nada. But eventually something happens to Nada in Resourga and the armor turns itself into the Max Resoul Changer and the Max Resoul. So it's sort of like the Battleizer. And that happens after the user's death. So it's a really interesting bit of armor and plays an important plot piece in the Sentai. So how can they adapt this character in Dino Fury later down the line? Well, they can probably borrow the same elements from the Sentai, like a couple of story beats here and there, I'm guessing. We'll have to do something with the footage if they are going to be using the Sentai footage for Dino Fury, unless they want to make their own footage. But I think the whole evil suit of armor possessing maybe someone the Rangers knew, or maybe one of their old masters or something like that, would make an interesting bit of plot point later down the line. Now what they can do, and what I get the feeling they will do, is says someone may be evil in the armor and they're going to have a rivalry with the Red Ranger throughout the season or seasons, who knows, and then they eventually turn good. Maybe they'll do that plot point eventually, I don't know, but we'll see what happens. Because this armor is like an interesting bit of character you can do, because they can do whatever they want with it, because you don't find out who's in the armor until much later down the line in the Sentai. So like Hasbro with the writing stuff, they can either blow their load and reveal it at the end of the first season or the mid-season finale, or wait until like the end of the season and have this character like one big mystery, being like the reoccurring villain throughout the entire season of Dino Fury. So Hasbro has a lot to do with whatever this character has to offer and how they're going to write it. Now, I've noticed there's been a lot of fan concern with how they're going to handle Gaisoulg, because a lot of people are worried that this character might be a rehash of Korag, with depending on how the writing is handled, and I can understand where people are coming from, because they're both Purple Knights, they're both evil, they both eventually turn good in the end. I can understand where people are coming from, but with the whole Gaisoulg thing, that suit of armor is eventually destroyed and turned into the Battleizer or the power-up mode in the Sentai, depending on how they handle it in Dino Fury. That's what happens in the Sentai, so who knows if this Knight character will stick around for very long. Guess we'll have to find out eventually, but either way, I understand where people are concerned from, because rehashes aren't always fun, especially if you're rehashing something for the sake of a homage, and depending on how you handle it, could be lazy writing, but I am curious with how they're going to handle the whole evil knight or possessed armor thing later down the line, because I know that a lot of people, like I said earlier, a lot of people are concerned if this is going to be a rehash of Korag or something in Power Rangers Dino Fury, so it's a wait and see situation. Now, another concern I've heard people have with what they want to see adapted with Gaisoulg, a lot of people are wanting to see the 4-week Super Sentai Battle Royale special adapted, because that's where Gaisoulg first appears in the Sentai version of that, and I can understand why, because he sort of first appears in that, it's his first appearance, and a lot of people want to see him make an appearance in that, but I don't know if Hasbro has the rights to use that footage, but if they do, here's how I'd adapt the 4-week Super Sentai footage. I wouldn't adapt the entire thing, but if there's any footage of Gaisoulg mowing down ranger teams we've seen being adapted, or Super Sentai teams we've been adapted into Power Rangers, I would use footage like that, or not focus too much on the Sentai only teams, or just call them off-world rangers like they usually do, or just don't focus on them too much, and just have Gaisoulg sort of be this legend that's been hunting down rangers and stuff like that, and he's made his way to the Dino Fury team. That's how I'd adapt the character. Anyway folks, I think I'm going to wrap things up here. Tell me down below how you'd adapt the character Gaisoulg in Power Rangers Dino Fury. How would you adapt it? Tell me from start to finish what journey you would take this character on, and how you want Hasbro to adapt the character. Tell me in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear thoughts, I'd love to hear your opinions, all that good stuff, because I'm sure you guys can come up with some interesting theories or what-ifs and scenarios on how Hasbro can adapt the character, so I'd like to hear from you guys. Now before this video wraps up and the credits start rolling, special thanks to BondRanger29 for hitting the join button and becoming a member on this channel. If you want to hear your name shouted out at the end of the video and have your name appearing in the credits, just hit the join button and become a member on the channel. With that said, thank you so much for everyone for all the support on the channel. I'll see you guys later in the next video. Peace out, take care, all that good stuff. Bye!